The Houston Astros are your 2017 World Series champions after a long process of rebuilding. Armed with young, elite talent and top-notch pitching, the Astros seem primed to go far in the playoffs for many years to come. I'm joined at the desk by Ennis, Warlick, and Gentry to discuss our expectations for the Astros moving forward and what the key factors were for their championship win. So, Ennis, we'll start with you. What draft pick, trade, or signing that the Astros made was the most impactful on their World Series victory?
I don't really think this is a question. It has to be Justin Verlander. I mean, they added this guy when they could already hit. They were already winning games, but Charlie Morton wasn't really performing up to par. Sure, they had Keuchel and sure they had McCullers back there, but Justin Verlander just skyrocketed this team.
But I said Bregman. With the second overall pick in the 2015 draft, he's been a solid third baseman in the hot corner, arguably one of the hardest positions to play on the baseball field. He played 155 games as a rookie, and that 155 games.
But tell me this. They add Bregman, right? And obviously Bregman's a great player, but everyone else in this lineup can hit.
Yeah, that's what. But he's a solid. I think he played 6 hole this series. I'm not 100% sure on that. But a solid all the way through the lineup, keeping it into the rotation all the way through the whole lineup.
This team is so talented, they could have stuck a free-range chicken at third base, and I guarantee you they still would have won. I'm telling you, they're way too talented.
Well, going off of that, Drew, what do you think we can expect moving forward from the Astros? Is there anything they need to add to continue to be a World Series threat?
I think they're a World Series threat next year as well, but I think they need a young gun catcher. They have McCann.
They don't need a young gun catcher.
They
could use when they don't need one.
McCann's coming on his 14th year, and Gaddis is a great DH to have. And then Centeno, he's year 6 as well, and he's only played 101 career games. So they need somebody to fill in for McCann whenever he retires.
Gaddis and McCann are more than capable catchers. They need to add pitching because this is one of the most inconsistent bullpens I've ever seen. Ken Giles is atrocious. He was atrocious in the playoffs. They need to find a closer badly because he was just getting wailed on. I'm telling you, they need to add some bullpen.
They also, I see what you're saying. They don't have a lefty dominant reliever as well, but they need the catcher to keep the. If they don't have a catcher, how are they going to have a pitcher that can you need somebody that can gun?
Well, they need a catcher, but they need pitching a lot more than they need catching right now, and they can solve that anytime.
Well, going back to you, Ennis, who was the most exciting player to watch on the Astros?
Well, see, you could go with Bregman, you could go with Springer, you could go with a lot of people, but it's got to be Altuve, and it's only Altuve by a hair. Altuve's batting average was .310. Springer's was .292, but Altuve was almost batting .600 at one point.
I went with Springer. He was your World Series MVP, and he had 5 home runs in the World Series. So,
yeah. I mean, Springer was great Springer obviously balled out in the World Series, but Altuve was just consistent all World Series, both in the field and at the plate.
Okay, it says you said most consistent. This says most exciting. I mean, yeah, Altuve hit more home runs than Springer did in the playoffs, but World Series, Springer showed up to just drop bombs.
Altuve was exciting the entire postseason.
Yeah, but I still think Springer had more oomph with it.
They were both exciting. There's no question. There's no question.
Well, baseball season may be over, but the football season is just heating up. Stay tuned for our NFL experts' analysis of the trade deadline.